I'm
Yeah.
hyper competitive. So I do believe that if it's at that point where the decision is getting made and that's when I realize how far apart we are, then I've probably fallen down somewhere along the line, right?
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
but more often what happens is that somebody has given you information on how to pursue this opportunity that was wrong or different than what a competitor might be pursuing. And that often has to do with who they're talking to, the hierarchy in the food chain. But it, I'm trying to think, Chris. You would have to help me here. Like, how many times, particularly lately, I've changed somebody's mind after we've maybe not earned a piece of business that we thought we were going to. It's extraordinarily rare. You want to get the feedback to
Yeah.
understand what you could have done differently, but I mean, almost never are you changing anyone's mind. So I feel like it's really incumbent. Part of my role is to not get to the finish line and not see it coming. I will say,
Right.
creative is the one thing that can really push something one way or another that's completely subjective. But
Mm.
for Chris's business, that really shouldn't be weighted nearly as much. By the time it's hitting you, that piece of the work should be done.
It's true. Again, part of our mission lately is we want to be more in service to fewer partners, and it's the trusted, incredible folks that we know are in there doing. Like you said, if you get it, we get our shot at it. So it becomes much more of an operational, um, you know, uh, Rubik's cube for us to put it together in the right way. And we usually can. And so it's why we do what we do with, okay, we're going to forward deploy into the two busiest, event cities, a full shop in inventory, and we're going to sign our own labor contracts, and we're going to have our own straight trucks so we can control local delivery, right? And while we have designers, they typically are redesigners, not original designers. So if you give us a project and we have to figure out how to engineer that, at a lower cost. We're going to do that with some of the pre-engineered things or the tricks or whatever we've learned. Or guess what? I've got 80 drop in place custom counters of all different shapes, sizes. So it's, we're all in on being, the fulfillment partner, but we're not involved in targeting and acquiring the customers. That's what we rely on our partners on. It's why the word partner is not some cute semantic word. We have nothing to work on unless our agency and our exhibit house partners come up with something, because we're not responding to the brands that call us directly. And they do. They're hey, we found you on Google, and we've got a show in 9 days, and we need you to build me a shopping mall, and my budget's $15,000. And you go,
I think
that's not us.
I do want to
So,
mention,
yeah,
just
sorry.
something that happens consistently. There are changes that happen from the strategy and pitch to the actual execution, and they often have to do with things like sponsors for a hosted event. We may have designed around having 50 sponsors, and we may only have 40. That's going to have a direct impact on somebody like Chris, or even our AV partners. Or it's not unusual at all for there to be changes that are client driven that we don't have direct control over. And that's why, from our perspective, it really makes, or the inverse of that happens too. We may have more sponsors than we thought we were going to have, and we're really leaning on our partners to make sure that they've got the inventory to scale up and deal with it. So I think
Yeah.
we are always looking for who is the right fit to partner with in a particular venue, city, geography, scope, and why when you've got those partners, you want to take care of them because it's a very much a symbiotic relationship. If it's not, that's probably not the right fit for us.